Ilia's a midget, you know what I mean? People don't understand how much bigger I am than Ilia. I'm so much bigger than him. People don't realise. I'd love to do a stare down with him, just so everyone could see how much bigger I actually am than him.
For Paddy Pimblett, this is great. He called him the water bottle boy. They were having a little bit of beef, talking way back at UFC London. When he took on Jai Herbert, got dropped against Jai Herbert and then scored an absolutely phenomenal knockout. It really was.
You against Ilia Topuria. Para dentro de 5 semanas, ¿qué dirías?
Yeah, I'd snatch his hand off for it. But I seen Ilia saying something the other day that he needs 6 months to make featherweight. I know, I get called fat when I can make weight in like 2-3 months tops. I need 6 months to make weight. I know, I get called unprofessional.
One and only Paddy Pimblett talking about the featherweight champion, the former featherweight champion, Ilia Topuria. According to Paddy Pimblett, he's running off, scared, to the lightweight division.
I think he ran from 145, to be honest.
Because he's scared of a rematch with Volkanovski, Diego Lopez, Movsar Evloev, running from these guys and moving up to the lightweight division where all the toughest guys in the world are.
I'm just sharing for you, like for any of you that think that's a mega massive fight, you are wrong. It's not. Ilia's never been part of a mega massive fight. Islam has never been part of a mega massive fight. If you put those two negatives together, what do you think? You get a positive?
Paddy Pimblett has called out Ilia Topuria for a fight and is talking trash about the former featherweight champion. Paddy is set to fight Michael Chandler in the co-main event of UFC 314, but he is making headlines for his statement about Ilia Topuria. Paddy is mocking Topuria after his move to lightweight and questions whether Topuria deserves to move up or not.
Ilia's a midget, you know what I mean? People don't understand how much bigger I am than Ilia. I'm so much bigger than him. People don't realise. I'd love to do a stare down with him, just so everyone could see how much bigger I actually am than him. Don't get me wrong, he's very good. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna, just because I don't like him, doesn't mean I'm gonna sit here and lie. But I also think he got fast-tracked to the belt because Volk had cleared the featherweight division out already.
Paddy Pimblett has called out Topuria for a fight and said he is ready to face any time. According to Paddy, no other fighter in the lightweight division would like to face the former lightweight champion. Paddy has warned Topuria that he would smash him in their potential matchup.
If he wants to come to lightweight, I'm here waiting. You know what I mean? I'll be there to welcome him. I don't think anyone else in the division has got more of a claim to welcome him to the division than I have.
Paddy has also shared his dream future plan in the UFC. Paddy revealed that he wants to fight for the title, but before that, his target is to fight the top contenders of his division. Paddy wants to beat the top 5 and then win the title. He also revealed the first challenger he would like to face after winning the belt.
My plan is to fight the top 5 opponents, then fight for the belt. And then, I don't care who they are as well, to be honest. Top 5 opponent, fight for the belt. And then if my first title defence could be Conor McGregor in Anfield, then that is perfect.
I like
because that's where the money is, and I'm filling Anfield out, me and Conor. But obviously I do want to batter hand sanitizer boy. I want to show him how small he is and show him that he's got little man syndrome. So he's another one that I'd love to fight.
So obviously the two of you have been going back and forth for quite a while. What is going through your mind when you hear that he's vacating the title to move up to lightweight? Because now the fight is more possible than ever, especially with you having this Chandler fight on the horizon.
I was thinking, wow, you're stupid. Why have you moved up to this division? Like, he's tiny. He's like 5'5", 5'6". I don't understand why. Like, he has the audacity to call me fat when he's saying he can't make 145 anymore when he's a midget. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I think he ran from 145, to be honest, because he knew Volk not coming off a knockout loss 12 weeks earlier would give him a much tougher fight than his first fight with him. And then he also had Evloev and Lopez to fight.
Paddy said apart from these dream fights, he would like to face Ilia Topuria and teach him a lesson. He looked furious at Topuria and showed no respect for the former featherweight champion.
But obviously I do want to batter hand sanitizer boy. I want to show him how small he is and show him that he's got little man syndrome. So he's another one that I'd love to fight.
Paddy Pimblett mocked Ilia Topuria for his height and slammed the Georgian fighter for calling him fat. He said the former champion moved from the featherweight division as he was no longer able to maintain his weight.
What is going through your mind when you hear that he's vacating the title to move up to lightweight? Because now the fight is more possible than ever, especially with you having this Chandler fight on the horizon?
I was thinking, wow, you're stupid. Why have you moved up to this division? Like, he's tiny. He's like 5'5", 5'6". I don't understand why. Like, he has the audacity to call me fat when he's saying he can't make 145 anymore when he's a midget. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Paddy was in no mood to stop as he accused Topuria of running away from the 145 weight class. According to Pimblett, Ilia Topuria was afraid to fight Alexander Volkanovski and other top fighters of that division. He said Topuria doesn't deserve to get a direct title shot and should fight the top contenders before facing the lightweight champion.
I think he ran from 145, to be honest, because he knew Volk not coming off a knockout loss 12 weeks earlier would give him a much tougher fight than his first fight with him. And then he also had Evloev and Lopez to fight. Like, I would have had a lot more respect for Ilia if he would have defended that belt 2 more times. And then I think he would have been able to keep his belt and not have to vacate it and move up and fight Islam or whoever has the belt at the time.
Paddy Pimblett has clearly said that he doesn't think Ilia Topuria should fight Islam Makhachev directly for the lightweight title. He said the Georgian fighter needs to beat the top 3 contenders before facing the champ. Paddy Pimblett said, "I don't think he deserves a straight title shot, and I don't think the UFC so either. I think he is gonna have to fight someone in the top 3 or something if he wants to get it a title shot." On the other hand, Ilia Topuria is not even interested in being compared with Paddy Pimblett. Talking about their old beef, Topuria refused to admit that he and Paddy are on the same level. He called Paddy a bum and said the lightweight fighter was not even close to him.
See how far you come. I remember even like you were like beefing with like Paddy the Baddie. You guys used to have that beef, and now it's crazy. I'm not trying to shit on him, but it's crazy how much of a gap there is now between stardom.
His hype was like momentáneo. In the moment he has a lot of hype, this and that, but the quality of the fighter he is, come on, please. Don't even compare me to that boom, because we are on different levels and everyone can see that.
Topuria also revealed the reason why he hates Paddy. According to the former featherweight champion, Paddy was always disrespectful towards him, his family, and his country, and that's why he has no respect for Paddy Pimblett.
What do you think happened with him? Because he was kind of on like, he was on stardom trajectory as well.
He was very disrespectful to me, to my country, to all my people.
Meanwhile, talking about their potential matchup, Paddy believes Topuria should have a fight fixed by the time he faces Michael Chandler at UFC 314. He wants to beat Chandler, and then will focus on fighting and beating Topuria.
If we have to make a prediction, is it more likely that Paddy and Ilia meet in a title eliminator, or with one of you as the defending champion?
I don't know, because surely he's going to get a fight booked in the next couple of months. He should have a fight booked by the time I fight Michael Chandler. That's what I'm thinking anyway. He should have a fight booked by then.
Topuria vacated his belt before clearing the division, and Paddy was not impressed with this at all. Paddy Pimblett believes nowadays fighters are not interested in defending their titles a lot, and after just 1 to 2 title defenses, their focus shifts to moving up and becoming double champion. Paddy thinks most of the fighters are following Conor McGregor's path, and it's not good for the sport and their legacy.
For as great as champ status is, when I think of the greatest of all time, I'm often thinking about the guys who managed to clear out their divisions.
Yeah, same. Like, the Mount Rushmore of MMA is John Jones, GSP, Anderson Silva, and Mighty Mouse. And they're all champions what defended their belts over 6-7 times, something like that. And, you know, I think it's the Conor McGregor effect. Everyone wants to be Conor McGregor. Like, Ilia Topuria is the worst for it, you know what I mean? He's copied his chest tattoo and his back tattoo and all that. He just wants to be Conor McGregor, but you can't be Conor McGregor when you've got the charisma of a tin of beans. So, it's one of them. I think everyone's just copied the McGregor route.
Paddy gave examples of the greats of the UFC who build their legacy by defending their titles multiple times. Pimblett doesn't like it when fighters say they want to move up without clearing their division.
When you defend your belt multiple times, like what Volk did. Volk defended his belt about 5 times or something like that, and then he had the chance to move up to Islam. I think Adesanya defended his belt like 3 times at least. Same with DC. DC defended the light heavyweight belt multiple times and then moved up to fight for the heavyweight belt. But as you say, nowadays champs are talking about going up and fighting people straight away. Bilal Muhammad hasn't even got a title defense, and he's talking about moving up, isn't he? It's you know, it's madness.
The UFC legend Michael Bisping also reacts to Paddy Pimblett's trash talking about the former featherweight champion. Bisping believes Paddy is just taking but the former champion said that he is enjoying everything Paddy is saying.
So for Paddy, it's great. Make the noise, talk the shit, poke the bear, do whatever you want. You just got to back it up. So anyway, he says that Ilia is running away. He said, I think he ran from 145, to be honest. Paddy's got kind of a point there, okay? He did get knocked out against Islam. He did come back too soon against Ilia Topuria, a man that's got absolute dynamite in his hands. But to say that he's running scared after he's already beaten him and he's the only person to knock out Max Holloway, it's bullshit. But I like it.
Meanwhile, Ilia Topuria has recently hinted about his next fight on his social media, and Michael Bisping can't wait to know his opponent.
But the real question is, because he has moved up, Ilia said on Saturday that he's got a big announcement to make soon and it's going to blow everybody's mind. Something like that. Dana White was asked about it at the 3:13 post-fight press conference. They said he's got a big announcement. Is it fight related? And he was like,
I don't know. That I don't know. Probably.
He's a UFC fighter who was the featherweight champion of the world that's just moved up to featherweight, and we all want to know who the opponent is.
Another UFC legend, Chael Sonnen, also reacted to Ilia Topuria's tweet and shared his opinion about that. Sonnen said that he won't be surprised if Topuria fights Islam Makhachev, as he is already expecting their fight.
Ilia Topuria sends out a tweet, and this is old news. You guys probably would have seen this a few days ago, but he sends out a tweet and says, when it gets announced what I'm doing next, your mind are going to be blown. And that doesn't necessarily start to conclude what he will be doing, but it definitely disqualifies a few things. Like, I would expect the undefeated world champion to be fighting for a world championship. So if he's doing that at 155, Captain Obvious, that would put him against Islam, but there's nothing that's a surprise about that.
Chael Sonnen believes Islam versus Topuria fight will happen, but the UFC legend refused to admit that it would be a blockbuster fight. According to Sonnen, Topuria is not a big star in America, and their fight might not capture a huge audience there to make this fight a super hit.
I expect him to be fighting Islam. See where that becomes a problem? I mean, what kind of a fight for Ilia Topuria? Ilia Topuria is a huge star in Spain. He is not a huge star here. He will be. He's on the cusp of it, but he's not. I'm only bringing that to you. Like, you can't count on selling out an arena with Ilia versus Islam. You cannot count on that. Not in America. You'd have to price it just right. You'd have to have the right co-main event. I mean, I'm just sharing for you. Like, for any of you that think that's a mega massive fight, you are wrong. It's not. Ilia's never been part of a mega massive fight. Islam has never been part of a mega massive fight.
On the other hand, Paddy Pimblett will fight Michael Chandler in the co-main event of UFC 314. This lightweight clash between these two is creating interest among the fans despite not being a title fight. Michael Chandler is ready for this fight, but he is not underestimating Paddy Pimblett as well. He knows Paddy is also an excellent fighter and has the ability to surprise him. He acknowledged Paddy for evolving his fighting style with time. However, Chandler is highly confident about his skills, and he feels his opponent lacks the experience to beat him. According to Chandler, Paddy has never faced a guy like him, and he will feel the difference between the punches of him and his previous opponents.
Paddy's good. He's growing. I think the pressure I'm going to put on him, he's obviously going to keep that evading, throwing a lot of kicks, kind of throwing some wild punches, trying to keep things interesting in there, because he knows when one of these hands lands, it's going to be different than Jordan Levitt. It's going to be different than Bobby Green. It's going to be different than a lot of the guys that he has fought, but I'm up to the challenge. Prove me right, prove me wrong. Let's see what happens.
Michael Chandler is confident about his skills and strengths, and he believes he is ready to fight Paddy Pimblett. Chandler thinks Paddy won't be a very tough challenge for him, as the lightweight has already fought tougher opponents in the past. Chandler has faced one of the best fighters in the UFC, and he feels beating Pimblett would be an easy task for him. Michael Chandler said, "You can talk about my record, my wins, and losses. You can analyze my UFC career, but until now, I only fought former UFC UFC champions and Hall of Famers. Every loss I had was against one of the great fighters. I will test his courage, championship mentality, cardio, and heart. Paddy will face the toughest challenge of his life. Michael Chandler also respects Paddy for his performances, and he thinks Paddy deserves this fight. Chandler believes there is a huge difference between the skills of him and Pimblett. Chandler is confident about his experience and he wants to prove himself at UFC 314. The lightweight fighter is aware of the competition in the 155 weight class and is ready to stay 2 steps ahead of everyone.
Paddy Pimblett deserves an opportunity, and I deserve an opportunity to go out there and show the difference between the guys I have been fighting and a guy who's outside the top 10, and I believe I'm going to go out there and starch him. Got nothing against him. Big, fan of him and his brand and how he does things. Great dude. But this is the right matchup at the right time, and it's a fun fight. It's a fight that the UFC world, the MMA fans are excited about. They're juiced about Paddy Pimblett fighting, and they're excited about him testing himself against a guy like me who's been through literal murderer's row of the UFC lightweight division. And as we sit here today, the UFC lightweight division was the most exciting division. Now it's even more exciting with the movement that's happening.
Chandler also warns his opponent to get ready for the toughest fight of his UFC career. He said that Paddy would realize during their fight that there was a difference between him and all the other fighters Paddy had faced before. Chandler wants to give his best and end the winning streak of Paddy at UFC 314.
I believe I'm going to put a pressure on him. I believe he will know right away within the first exchange he's not stepping into the octagon with Bobby Green, with Tony Ferguson. It's just a different level, and I still believe where I'm at, it's a bad matchup stylistically for him. That first time he gets hit by one of the toughest punchers in the UFC lightweight division, which he has not faced yet, it's going to be a different feeling. It's going to be a different speed. It's going to be a different ferocity that he hasn't felt before. But I do believe he's got some momentum right now, and the Paddy train stops in Miami.
The famous MMA analyst Luke Thomas thinks that Paddy might get a title shot very soon. Luke feels the UFC is considering Paddy for a title fight. According to Thomas, Paddy should focus on beating Michael Chandler, and then there will be a great chance for him to get a title fight.
Man, I tell you what, they're gonna push him up that title contender queue fast. And I don't know exactly what they might do in the sense of, do they put him right into a title fight, or do they make him take like a quasi top 5, top 3 guy? I suspect that they probably would. So I think he's got at least, beating Chandler is relevant and important, but he'd probably have at least one more after that before getting a title shot.
Tim Welch is also excited for the Chandler versus Pimblett fight. He believes there will be a close and thrilling clash between these two at UFC 314. Welch elaborated on the strengths of both fighters and how this fight will go. Tim Welch predicted Michael Chandler to beat Paddy Pimblett, but he also believes Pimblett won't be an easy opponent and will give him a tough time inside the cage.
Mike Chandler versus Paddy the Baddy Pimblett.
Oh,
that's
nice.
A banger of a fight.
That is. That's a fun fight.
3 rounds.
Oh, that's fun. Really?
No. 5-round co-main event.
Ooh,
that
nice.
changes the game. That changes the
It changes the game.
Both of those guys wing punches from their armpits. Paddy floats his chin. Paddy's good at jiu-jitsu. Michael Chandler is an explosive beast of an athlete.
I never can pick against Chandler.
Dude, Paddy Pimblett has never faced anybody as explosive as Michael Chandler is going to be.
Moreover, Joe Riggs is also expecting a close fight between Michael Chandler and Paddy Pimblett. He praised Chandler for his relentless power and style. However, the former MMA fighter also said that Chandler should not underestimate Paddy Pimblett. Riggs knows that Pimblett is not a bad fighter and can shock everyone at UFC 314.
I've counted Paddy out too. But he's, again, a different animal.
And he's going in there with some serious confidence. This is a big fight.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. If I had to pick right now, if someone gave me $10K to bet right now on the fight, 5-rounder.
Which one? With the Chandler fight? Who'd you?
I'd probably go Chandler.
Yeah. How could you not?
He's ready to scrap for that long.
He finds that chin too, man.
Damn, that's cool.
Paddy's gonna be able to get hit too.
Coach of Islam Makhachev Javier Mendez also spoke about this highly anticipated co-main event of UFC 314. Mendez thinks that if Paddy Pimblett beats Michael Chandler, he will get closer to his dream to fight for the title and become a champion. According to Mendez, Paddy has the skills and talent to beat anyone, including Chandler. The veteran coach said Pimblett can become a top contender to fight Islam Makhachev if he beats Chandler.
You know, if he can beat Michael Chandler, like you're saying, in impressive fashion, yeah, his name needs to be deserving, because again, it's all about eyeballs, and we all know Paddy the Baddy draws. People want to see him, so he has a big say in what's going to happen if he is successful in his next fight. So yes, I mean, you're giving me a lot of interesting scenarios here that I'm looking, wow, there's a lot of things that can be played in that lightweight division.
Dan Hooker has shared his verdict on the Paddy Pimblett versus Michael Chandler fight. He feels this encounter will benefit both fighters. According to Hooker, Michael Chandler can get his form back at UFC 314 and show everyone that he can still beat anyone. Dan Hooker further said that Paddy Pimblett also has a chance to get a title shot in this fight. If Paddy beats Chandler at UFC 314, then he will get one step closer to getting a fight for the title.
Oh, that's a fight that makes sense. Michael Chandler's like a really big name, and it's Paddy's trying to he's playing the game smart. He's trying to get to the title as quick as he possibly can, and I think he thinks that Michael Chandler will be an easy fight for him, but yeah, that's going to be a difficult fight. And then also exciting for Michael Chandler, because that gets him right back in the mix. Like, he beats Paddy Pimblett and that he's back fighting guys in the top 10. So a win-win situation for the UFC.
The former UFC champion Dustin Poirier picks Michael Chandler to beat Paddy Pimblett at UFC 314. He said Chandler is an experienced fighter and fought tougher opponents in his career, so Poirier feels Paddy Pimblett lacks the experience and skill set to beat Chandler at the moment. Moreover, Dustin also believes that Paddy is a great fighter, but he is currently nowhere near to beating Michael Chandler.
Your buddy Michael Chandler fighting Paddy Pimblett. Now, I know you tweeted, like, put all your money, hammer down on Michael Chandler. Is that just because you spent time with him and you just think he's a better fighter than Paddy? Like, why do you say, like, hammer down that money on Michael Chandler?
I don't know, for some reason I just have a feeling he's going to finish Paddy. And like you said, I enjoy watching him fight. Just our interactions haven't been the best. But I just think Paddy hasn't fought somebody like that in the UFC yet. The power, the grit, but also just the resume of Chandler. He's fought the best of the best for a long time, multiple-time world champion. It's just a huge step up for Paddy, I think, but we'll see.
Furthermore, MMA Guru praised the recent performances of Paddy Pimblett. Sharing his verdict on this fight, the popular YouTuber said Paddy Pimblett has a great chance to beat Michael Chandler at UFC 314. MMA Guru admitted that both are excellent fighters and he is expecting a close fight. However, he feels Paddy has the upper hand in this fight.
Thoughts on Paddy versus Chandler? I think it's close. I do worry for Pimblett getting chinned by Chandler, because it does seem like the type of thing that would happen, but I'm done betting on Chandler to chin someone. He ain't done it since Dan Hooker, so. And he front kicked Ferguson. I don't see him front kick KOing Pimblett, so I don't know. Bro don't really do too much.
So this is all we have from today's video, and hopefully you have enjoyed it. Share your thoughts about Paddy Pimblett's trash talk in the comments section. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to get instant notification about our latest videos.